A very good morning once again, students. Today we will read second part of T.S. Eliot's poem Love Songs, Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrork. As we have seen, this poem opened on a restaurant and a certain persona, Alfred Prufrork, is talking with his girlfriend. And now take the second part of this poem. Okay, so I will read out the text and then we will discuss it later. And second part, and indeed there will be time to wonder, do I dare? And do I dare? Time to turn back and descend the stairs with a bald spot in the middle of my hair. They will say, how his hair is growing thin, my morning coat, my collar mounting firmly to the chin, my necktie rich and modest, but associated with a simple pin. They will say, but how his arm and legs are thin. Here, in this part of the poem, Prufrock's thought process becomes infused with a sense of ridiculous as he pictures himself losing his resolve, turning and walking back down the stand before even knocking on the door. The irony is that, seeing himself as silly, he begins to aware of how others might see him, even to the point of including the stream of his own thought bracketed in the poem, disappearing comments that he imagines imagines these other may take him comments that are directed or how he sees himself. And next one is, do I dare disturb the universe? In a minute there is time for decisions and reasons which a minute will reverse. Perhaps third repetition, do I dare, is exaggerated to reflect the depth of his own deed. He repeats that while there is time for all these thoughts, the situation is still hopeless. As long as it to make a decision is an is as long as it takes the reverse that decision. Next lines, for I have known them all already, known them all, have known the evenings, mornings, afternoons. I have measured out my life with coffee spoons. I know the voices dying with a dying fall beneath the music from a further room. So how should I presume? Here, in this line, Prufrock tries to explain why he is indecisive about his feelings toward the women he is meeting 40. It is because he knows the kind of social life he is moving toward. He knows how people who live together and have social obligations toward one another act. I mean, he knows them completely or are supposed to act. So the visual image of coffee spoons indicate that he himself has had innumerable cups of coffee in invariable social situations. The aerial image of the voices dying refers the difficult and embracing social conversations that falter while these involved pretend to be listening to music. And so Prufrock asks himself, how can such a socially inept individual or he is ever hope to assume a part in real human life with this woman? So he asks this question to himself. Then comes the line, next stanza, and I have known the eyes already, known them all, the eyes that fix you in a formulated phrase. And when I am formulated, sprawling on a pin, when I am pinned and wriggling on the wall, then how should I begin to spit out the butts end of my days and ways, and how should I presume? So Prufrock indicates that he is familiar with people who appraise him according to some set of standards that have nothing to do with uh, who is considered himself. Sorry. So continue again. So in these lines, Prufrork indicates that he is familiar with the people who appraise him according to some sets of standards that have nothing to do with who he considered himself to be. Eliot uses metaphor here to illustrate that such appraisal makes Prufrork incapable of human response because he feels as if he is an insignificant and helpless as a bug stuck by a pin or a for collection and examination. So the image of butt ends are what he thinks his days and ways must be reduced to in order to explain what he does, as the butt ends of cigarettes are what remains after the pleasure of smoking. These are senseless things. Butt end of a cigarette remains senseless after using it. Then come the next stanza. And I have known the arms already, known them all, arms that braceleted and white and bare, but in lamplight, down with light brown hair. It is perfume from a dress that makes me so degraded. Arms that lie along a table or wrap about a shawl, and should I then presume, and how should I begin? So in these lines, the tone softness here, as Prufrork recall a third thing that he has known as a result of social situations symbolized by the image of feminine arms. These arms have a hint of sensual in the braceleted information he provides that is suggestive of earlier animal image of the frog as well as the sexual association of the hotels and restaurants. Prufrork realizes that this image of what he has known is at variance with those of the two preceding stanzas and wonders what has shifted his thoughts, that it was the feminine appeal of a perfume he quotes scent of continue. The visual image of these arms, however, transforming the question asked at the end of each of those preceding stanzas. Now he asks, should I presume? The reply that he desires for the female embrace is overwhelming his doubts. Indeed, the final line assumes he will presume by allowing him to consider how to begin. And then there is an ellipsis. The ellipsis act to divide the first two sections of the poem. It also indicates that there were thoughts resulting from the final question of the preceding stanza that neither Prufrork nor Eliot wants to consider further. So next lines are, shall I say I have gone at dusk through narrow streets and watched the smoke that rises from the pipes of lonely men in shirt sleeves leaning out of windows. And next two lines, I should have been a pair of rugged claws scuttling across the floors of silent seas. So Eliot brings Prufrork and the readers back to the ideas of how Prufrork might begin to talk to the women he is going to meet. The image of lonely men symbolizes the loneliness of Prufrork. The use of an ellipsis within the sentence structure at the close of the stanza indicates further consideration, perhaps of his loneliness, which is enhanced by the fact that there are only two consecutive unrhymed lines in the poem. So Prufrork, this Prufrork acknowledges that he feels to be the utter hopelessness of his situation. The image of the rugged cloud in the silent sea suggests that as a creature of a higher order, Prufrork's brain is doing him no good at all. In fact, it is clear that Prufrork feels that his ability to speak, which especially establishes his superiority over all other animals, is so inferior that he should be relegated to a world of silences. So these are the things that we come to know about Alfred Prufrork. So this part is also completed. We will see the next part and try to complete it in that part. Till then, thank you.